3,000 years ago, in a quiet forest hermitage, a young scholar named Kathavana spent his evenings reciting the Vedas aloud, his pregnant wife, Sujata, seated beside him. Neither of them knew that the child still in her womb was listening to every single word. One night, from inside the womb, the child spoke. He told his father gently that he had recited a passage wrongly, and not once, but in 8 separate places. A voice from somewhere it had no business speaking at all, correcting a grown master of the Vedas. Kathavana was a patient man in every other moment of his life, but to be corrected 8 times by an unborn child was more than his pride could bear. In a flash of humiliation, he spoke words he could never take back. "Since you mock me crooked from the womb, then crooked in 8 places you shall be born." And so it happened. When the child was born, his small body was curved and twisted at 8 joints, neck, back, chest, and limbs, all bent. They named him for it Ashtavakra, the one bent in 8 places. The curse had become his name. Before Ashtavakra could even walk, his father left to earn wealth at the court of King Janaka, the famous ruler of Mithila. There, a mighty court scholar named Bandi challenged every visiting sage to debate, and the price of losing was death by drowning. Kathavana debated Bandi. Kathavana lost, and Kathavana did not come home. Ashtavakra grew up in his grandfather's hermitage, believing his young uncle Shvetaketu was his brother, and his grandfather was his father. No one told him otherwise. He grew up crooked in body, brilliant in mind, and entirely unaware that his real father lay at the bottom of a river. Then, at the age of 12, an argument with Shvetaketu let the secret slip. For the first time, Ashtavakra learned that the man he called father was his grandfather, and that his true father had been drowned years before by a scholar named Bandi at the court of King Janaka. That night, the crooked boy made a decision. He would go to that same court. He would face the man who had killed his father in the very contest that had killed him. And so a 12-year-old boy, his body bent in 8 places, set out on the long road to the grandest royal court in the land, his uncle Shvetaketu walking beside him. When Ashtavakra finally limped into King Janaka's court, the reaction was instant. The assembled scholars, the wisest, proudest men in the kingdom, took one look at his twisted body and burst into laughter. His crooked frame in that hall of dignified sages struck them as absurd. And then Ashtavakra did something no one expected. He laughed too, louder than all of them combined. His laughter filled the hall until, one by one, the scholars fell silent, unsure of themselves. From his throne, King Janaka leaned forward and asked the boy why he was laughing. "I came," Ashtavakra said, expecting an assembly of wise men. "Instead, I find a room full of cobblers, for only a worker in leather looks at a man and sees nothing but his skin and hide. You have measured my worth by the bends in my body and missed entirely the one who lives inside it. The body is bent," he told them. "Skin ages, twists, and falls away. But the awareness looking out through these eyes is not bent, not young, not old. It cannot be crooked because it has no shape at all. You laughed at a body. I am not a body." The hall was utterly silent now. King Janaka saw at once that this was no ordinary child. But Ashtavakra had not come for admiration. He had come for Bandi. He demanded the same contest that had drowned his father, a debate to the death in front of the entire court. The two traded verses, back and forth, faster and sharper, the whole court holding its breath. And piece by piece, the crooked boy took the undefeated Bandi apart until Bandi had no answer left. The scholar who had drowned so many sages had finally been beaten by the son of one of them. Then the truth of Bandi came out. The sages he had drowned were never killed. They had been sent beneath the waters to serve a great sacrifice. And now, with Bandi defeated, the river gave them back. Among the men who walked out of the water was Kathavana, and for the first time in his life, Ashtavakra stood face to face with the living father who had cursed him before he was born. Years passed. King Janaka ruled Mithila at its height. Wealth, power, pleasure, everything a man could want, and still felt a restlessness he could not name. Then one night, he dreamed he was a starving beggar, cold and turned away from every door. He woke with a violent start, safe on his silk bed, unable to shake one question. Was he a king who had dreamed he was a beggar, or a beggar dreaming now that he was a king? The question would not leave him. So the most powerful king in the land went looking for the one man he believed could answer it, Ashtavakra, the crooked sage. He came not as a king, but as a student, and asked, "How is wisdom found? How is freedom won? Tell me, quickly, before I can even climb onto my horse." Ashtavakra did not offer him a ritual or a pilgrimage or years of practice. He answered plainly, "If you want to be free, then know this. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are the awareness in which body and mind appear, the silent witness of it all. And that witness was never born and will never die. You are searching for freedom," Ashtavakra went on, as if it were somewhere else. "But bondage is only a thought. The thought, I am this body, I am this mind. Drop that single idea, and there is nothing left to bind you. You were never caught. Let the body stand or fall. You are the awareness that watches, forever untouched." And there, sitting on the ground before a crooked boy, King Janaka understood. "Aho," he whispered, "I am spotless, at peace, pure awareness. All this time, I was fooled by a shadow." He had gained nothing new. He had simply woken up, and he ruled the rest of his life free. A liberated man on a throne. They called Janaka by a title ever after, Videha, the one beyond the body. The king known as bodiless learned it from the sage the world had reduced to a body. So the next time you pass a mirror, ask what Ashtavakra asked that court. Are you the crooked shape looking back, or the silent one who is looking?